Welcome to the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast. Today our topic is No Money Down, Your Path to Real Estate Investing with No or Low Down Payment.
Welcome to the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast with Scott Whitwam, your blueprint to financial abundance. Settle in as we explore the mindset and methods for wealth building through real estate.
Welcome back. I'm Scott Whitwam, and I'm glad you joined me today for No Money Down, Your Path to Real Estate Investing with No or Low Down Payment. Today, we're going to be talking about my new book, No Money Down. I wrote this book in an answer to several questions that I get asked when I'm at speaking engagements by coaching students, investors, and even family members. And I'll be sharing throughout today's podcast how you can get a copy of my new book, No Money Down. First, you can purchase the book, No Money Down, on Amazon for $20. Or as one of my podcast listeners, you can get a copy absolutely free. Stay tuned, and I will share with you how to get your free copy of this recently released book with secrets of how to buy with no money down. Everybody is at a different level in investing, from beginner to full-time successful real estate investor. The investing community is really a large family. And I've met many very helpful coaches, trainers, and investors who are truly interested in helping people get where they have already arrived. It was not that way, certainly not when I got started in real estate investing. The biggest or best thing I had going for me is that I wasn't lazy. I was not looking to get rich quick, and I was willing to do the work required to get where I wanted to go. It is one of the reasons this proverb stands out to me. A lazy person complains about not having money, and he tries to get rich quickly. But a diligent person builds wealth through proper planning and attention to their goals. What I did have going for me is I had some knowledge. But I didn't have any knowledge of how to do real estate investing. I didn't have any idea of how to do what I wanted to do. I was just a young business guy. I was also pretty cash strapped at the time. We had a small computer manufacturing business, and our money was going into the manufacturing of PC computers. So not only did I not have the knowledge I needed for real estate investing, and the knowledge that I knew that I needed to get started, but without this knowledge, I had nothing in which to develop wisdom. Wisdom is the proper application of knowledge. So I didn't even have the building blocks that I needed to get started. And with wisdom, you can achieve nearly anything you can dream. Wisdom is a shield when you face your most difficult times in life. It's one thing to know how, and another thing to know why. I have never found the development of wisdom, the wisdom that one needs to be instant, inexpensive, or easy. Now, as a real estate coach, investor, and broker, I have learned how hard and discouraging it can be to try to find trusted help and transformational information, even when paying experts for the knowledge and experience. As a successful investor, I don't differ from you in this. I've read volumes of books, attended the seminars, seminar after seminar, networked, and spent a fortune on lots of mass-sold systems and programs that failed to move me any closer to the results that I desired. Don't get me wrong. I still read books. I attend seminars because each one gets me a little closer to my dreams. In my book, I talk about my journey. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I did it the hard way, long before the internet and real estate gurus were around every corner. I had to educate myself to become a real estate investor. It was time-consuming and it was painful. When you read my story, it'll help you be encouraged and understand how you can buy investment properties with no money down. And I give you the principles that you need to do it yourself and do it yourself today. Even experienced investors can learn from these techniques, how to enhance their real estate investing strategies and do it correctly right out of the gate. This is a quote from my book. I thought I must be doing something wrong. I need a mentor, someone experienced who can help me. That is how I felt. If I've learned anything in 35 years of real estate investing, it's that it is easier with help than without. Unfortunately, not all help, coaches, and experts are the same. As I discussed further in the first chapter, it's easy to spend tens of thousands or $20,000 on systems that ultimately are not much help at all. It didn't help me much, and it doesn't help many others, but it seemed to help those who were selling the programs. What do I mean by that? As they touted the cars they drove, the houses they owned, and the vacations they took, I wasn't any further along. And many of the people I talked to who have hired some of these same people to try to get them to their next level are experiencing the same frustration. And as I discuss in my book, there is a purpose. You shouldn't have to go through what others have and what I have. I've already paid the price. I felt the frustration and wasted tons of time. This is why I've decided to give my book away for free to my podcast listeners. You can get a free copy of my book, No Money Down, by using the QR code available if you're watching this by the video version of the podcast, or by going to nomoneydowncoach.com. That is www.nomoneydowncoach.com. In the book, I make it clear that even though I teach you how to buy real estate investments with no money down, there is still a price to pay to be successful. Anyone telling you that if you buy their book, system, webinar, or conference, you will make millions of dollars by doing so is simply selling greed and get rich quick. There is a price to pay for success. You have to get up, you have to show up, and you have to implement the principles of real estate investing success to experience the benefits. Here is another quote from my book. I was willing to pay the price to get where I needed to be. So, if you're willing to pay the price to be successful, then the principles and steps in this book will get you there. When I was writing the book, I thought it was important to communicate my why. Why did I become a real estate investing coach? Why did I start Whitwam Wealth Academy? And why am I doing this podcast? And particularly, why did I write this book? There had to be a reason, a specific reason. And I can tell you it wasn't because I didn't have enough to do. I have plenty to do. For those of you who know me, I have many irons in the fire with businesses, family, and church. So in the book, I wanted to communicate that it's more than just being another voice. I said it this way in the book. I felt a shift in my thinking. Maybe I'm called to impart these keys and strategies that I've learned. But how would I do that? And then the answer came to me immediately, and the message was crystal clear. I can impact the lives of others through the process of one-on-one coaching and empower others with the tools and strategies needed to be successful as a real estate investor. Nothing missing, not like the gurus I had encountered early in my journey. See, the book had to be about you, the real estate investor, and not about me. How do I impart knowledge that can be absorbed by those who read my book and those who let me coach them so they can absorb the strategies and gain the knowledge to make game-changing money? The no money down real estate investing concept is not a new one. It may be new to you as it was to me when I discovered it. And I did discover it. You know, without the internet, no volumes of shelves in the library, nobody on television telling me that I could buy their program when I got started, I literally had to discover this process. And that is why I want to make sure that you can get a copy of my book, No Money Down, that lays out the concepts. Just use the QR code that's on the screen if you're watching by this video version of the podcast, or go to www.nomoneydowncoach.com. That is www.nomoneydowncoach.com, and get your free copy of this book. if you do want to go to Amazon and pay $20, I mean, I don't mind, but I didn't write this book in order to sell it and make money. I really wanted this to be a blessing to those who I encounter. And I really discovered these techniques out of a desire and necessity. What I discovered over the years is the principles of no money down allow the process to be flexible. That's what's so great about it. Like many other investment strategies, it can be morphed to fit your situation. I remember when I did my first wholesale deal, I thought I was following the process that I had been taught. I spent a large amount of money on this very short course. This course was confusing and really had nothing more than a few cassette tapes and a couple pieces of paper. I'm not talking about paper that was contracts and forms and anything that you would think that would be useful to me as an investor or a wholesaler getting started, something that I could actually fill out and make available to people. Yet I used the principles that I learned from that course. Man, I messed up the whole system and the whole process in my first deal. And still, it worked for the opportunity that I had. I mean, on this first deal I did, I still made over $15,000 in today's money. What am I saying? What I'm saying is there's not just one way for no money down deals to occur. This model is designed to be flexible. This concept is a plan or an idea. It's more than just a means of action. It teaches you the principles that you can use if you want in commercial, industrial, residential. You can use it on duplexes, fourplexes, single family homes. It is principles that underlie everything. For instance, a seller may initiate a no money down transaction to maximize some tax strategy. We show you just by asking the right questions, you may find out if it's better for them to sell to you on a no money down deal so that they can avoid capital gains tax and maybe some large tax that's in a year that they would be better waiting and deferring getting the money from their deal. And you, the buyer investor, you may be offered this opportunity to purchase the property in some scenario with no money down. This book is designed to help you see those situations, to identify those potential opportunities and use them to your investing advantage. And this is a good place to make sure we cover a few misconceptions related to the no money down model. No money down real estate investing does not mean it's without cost. We're talking about a strategy that reduces or eliminates the need for large down payments to purchase investment properties. Another area I cover, and we'll get into this a little bit more, is what a typical investor may do when purchasing an investment property versus the no money down investor. And you can see the difference. You can see the benefits of using this type of strategy in your real estate investing. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about buying whole properties, fix and flip, short-term rentals, etc. It doesn't matter. You can use this in any situation. And how using this system, my no money down system can allow anyone at any level to invest in real estate. I have seen people who are beginners use this, and I've seen experienced real estate agents who have been doing it for literally decades. When they understand the principles that I share in my book and implement them, find a new way of investing in real estate with no money down, very little money out of their pocket. And now I know we're running short on time for today's episode for this podcast. So let me read a quote from the book before I wrap up. The quote is, "There is no such thing as a free lunch." I attribute this quote to my stepdad. My stepdad raised me, and he would tell me this on a regular basis. It didn't matter if it was in the area of sports or if it was farming or just life. There always seemed to be an opportunity for him to tell me, there is no such thing as a free lunch. And I remember hearing it coming out of his mouth. Son, there's no such thing as a free lunch. If you want to be good at baseball, you've got to put in the time and practice. If you want to be good at farming, you've got to take care of the details. If you want to be good at life, you have to pay the price. There's no such thing as a free lunch. We're out of time for this podcast, but we're going to get into some specific how-tos on the second part next week. So be sure to, make sure that you find this podcast next week to go with this one. You've been listening to the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast, and we've come to the end of today's episode. We've been talking about my new book, No Money Down. You can order it on Amazon or get a free copy using the QR code available on the videocast or by going to www.nomoneydowncoach.com. That's www.nomoneydowncoach.com. I want to thank you for taking time to listen. And if you found this episode, No Money Down, Your Path to Real Estate Investing with No or Low Down Payment helpful, be sure to subscribe. Leave us a review. And if you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. You can always find the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart Podcast, YouTube, or wherever you enjoy listening to your favorite podcast. This has been Scott Whitwam. Be sure to join me on our next episode of the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast, where we are wealth building through real estate.